So the big day is almost here. Election day. Some people already started voting, right? I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. You've already decided. I'm not going to convince you. But I'm more interested in what are you going to do after the election? And it doesn't matter if you're voting for Harris or you're voting for Trump. My question is, let's just say you're a Trump voter and he wins. And then he picks his fucking cabinet and then he becomes president. The first time he does something that's horseshit, does something, that you disagree with and you're totally against, or he goes against some shit he said and he doesn't do it. What is your reaction going to be? Is your reaction going to be to hold water or carry water for him and make excuses? Or is your reaction going to be criticizing him? Same thing goes for Harris. She's going to go against shit that she says she's going to do. Right? Trump says she's a communist, whatever. Her father was a Marxist, whatever. She's a corporatist. She's going to do whatever the corporations tell her, like most other presidential candidates. When she does some chicken shit, horse shit thing, are you going to question her? Are you going to go out in public and say, hey, this is bullshit? Because let me tell you something. If you carry water for any of these politicians, you're not a patriot. That's cult thinking. That's bullshit. The other thing I'm interested in, I think this election, it's one of those things in this country's history. Looking back at 9/11, obviously it was terrible. But ever since that day, this country's never been the same. Maybe the world's never been the same, but definitely this country has never been the same since then. And there's been a few of those moments in history that have been like that. I think the 2008 crash changed things publicly for us. And definitely COVID, right? Everything's been different. And I feel like if we look back to 9/11, everybody remembers that was there. Everybody was on each other's sides. Being nice to each other, hanging American flags. Everybody had the American flags out, hanging from their car, wearing them on their shirt, putting a flag out in front of their house. Everybody was united. Now, if you wear an American flag, number one, somehow you are part of Team Trump automatically. And there's half the country that's like, ew. What the fuck is that? It's like ridiculous. How did the American flag become punk rock? Become alternative? It's the fucking flag of your country. Everybody should be okay with it. What is the deal with that? Listen, I'm totally with talking shit about the government. Everybody should talk shit about the government. Everybody should not trust a single fuck word they say. Anything. I don't want to hear about the experts. Fuck the experts. The experts are captured by industry. They're making money. You can't listen to them. You can fucking inform yourselves. And I'm not talking about watching television. They're giving you false information. Nobody gets fired or taken down from Facebook from really lying. They get taken down when like the established media and the established government decide, they're saying some shit that kind of makes things a little difficult for us. So take them down. Fact check them. You saw it in COVID. You saw it. Everything that people were saying in the beginning that turned out to be true, like masks didn't work, like the fucking virus came from a lab, which was so obvious, but it was racist. somehow. Weren't allowed to say that. Weren't allowed to say that there was other treatments for COVID besides this vaccine. You weren't allowed to say, hey, vaccines usually take a decade to be tested. Why should I trust one that just gets spit out over 6 months? Nope, not allowed. There's still motherfuckers saying that you're misinformed or you're spreading misinformation, which, by the way, is a term that came out of thin fucking air. Misinformation, disinformation. My favorite one, malinformation. That's my favorite one. And I think it's information that is true, but is inconvenient for the government. I think that's kind of like it's not exactly what the definition is, but it's kind of like that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And they wanted to just decide. You can't let these motherfuckers decide what's right and what's wrong, because they're always going to decide what's good for them, whether it's right or wrong. But that's obvious. What is the argument? Moving forward, starting Wednesday, I don't know. We're probably not even going to know who won, which is ridiculous in itself. Somehow we had paper ballots. We all had paper ballots. We all knew the next day by the end of the day. Then the Bush-Gore shit happened, but that was even paper ballots. Now we got computers and it takes longer somehow. It's fuckery, but that's a whole other argument. Starting Wednesday, how are you going to treat your friends or your family that disagrees with you or voted for another person? How are you going to treat them? Holidays are just around the corner. Are you going to dance on their graves if your candidate wins and their candidate loses? I mean, I understand that's the instinct, but the most important thing moving forward is we got to get back to how we were after 9/11, united, because this shit is scary and everybody knows it. You could feel it in the fucking air. And people hate each other over nonsense. Most people that run their mouths about who they're voting for and this and that, they don't know dick about what's going on. They know dick. Let me tell you something. Every single day, I'm informing myself on what's going on and things that are going on in the world, in the United States. And guess what? I don't know dick either. But to hate your fucking family members and your friends over that is disgusting. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you were around for Hurricane Sandy in 2012 and the lights went out for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, look at the people going down. They're still going through it down south, the Carolinas. You're going to need your friends and family. You're going to need each other. And not just your friends and family. You're going to need your neighbors. Ever since COVID, nobody wants to talk to their neighbors, right? I was kind of guilty of it a little bit, right? I live in a condo complex. There's an HOA. When you're in an HOA situation, people become cunts. You see what happens when you give them power over a condo complex. But even with that, I made it my mission. Now, I want to talk to my neighbors. Even if I disagree with them over nonsense, I want to talk to them because we should have our backs. We should have each other's backs. I think nobody can really fix this country on its own. I'm not under any delusion that if one person wins over the other in this election, that everything's okay. Everything's not okay, no matter who wins. This government is completely corrupted throughout its whole system. All three branches of government are fucked. They're all compromised. I wish I had better news for you. That's just the facts. We kind of have to do this on our own. And I'm not saying marching and starting riots. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you live in a suburban area, let's say, and you have your block of houses, talk to your fucking neighbors. Figure out, make your block better. And if everybody did that block by block by block, then things might get better little by little by little. Try that. But moving forward, I have a bad feeling. I wish I had. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a bad feeling about it. I think this is going to be. I mean, this is really a branch in the road for this country, and a big one. And a big one. But we have to stand up for each other. Government's not going to stand up for you. They don't care. I know a lot of people. I know that some people are good at pretending they care. That's the job. That's how they climbed up the ladder. That's how they got up the mountain of this. They were good at acting. They're very good. Some of them are really good at acting, but like once they're in a debate, they suck. But they've gotten to this place because they're good horseshit artists. That's how they got here. Remember that. You don't matter. So make sure your family members and your friends matter. Make sure your neighbors matter. And I think we can kind of slowly dig ourselves out of this. But I feel like as citizens, we need to have each other's backs and figure this out. Or it's going to get really messy. So, listen, enjoy your weekend, but, try not to be cunts. Wednesday or even Tuesday. Stop it. We're all brothers and sisters in this country. Let's act like it.